15 minutes into a 5-minute break. Okay, the meeting is back in session, and we have had a little bit of discussion up here about the sequence of events here, and it seems that item 5 is somewhat contingent upon the results of our discussion or actions on item 6A. So it's been suggested, and I agree, that we should deliberate here on the Wilshire annexation first. Is that the pleasure? Okay, so let's, for everybody's following the sequence of events here, we're going to go at this point to item 6A, which is the Wilshire annexation agreement. So do you have comments on this item?
If I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to do a little exposition on this item, set the context with everyone. We need, in order to proceed with the construction of the jail and courthouse facility, we need to accomplish two things at a minimum. One is to obtain wastewater services to the site, and two is to effect the transfer of property to the state in order to have a facility for the courthouse. So those are the two items that are before you now. Wastewater and property transfer. As Supervisor Tryon noted, if we aren't able to obtain wastewater services, it makes moot our ability to use the site, so we heavily need to go on to the property transfer. That's why we're taking these items in order. Negotiation of what's called the Will Serve Annexation Agreement, which is a document which will enable us to receive the wastewater treatment services from the Sanitary District, has been it's been a long process. A lot of people have been deeply involved, including County Counsel's Office, the Sheriff's Department, our consultant Jim Heminger, Kitchell, and the council, staff, and members of the board of the Sanitary District. And the document before you is not done without a lot of consideration. I'd like to just discuss briefly the item on the items, the terms of the items, go into what the county's obligations are, what the Sanitary District's obligations are. The county will pay all costs associated with receiving and obtaining LATCO approval, annexation of the property to the district. The county will pay a capacity charge $1.1 million required for construction of treatment plant upgrades and improvements to provide additional capacity. The county will pay $780,000 for the design and construction of new effluent storage ponds and dispersal fields. The county will pay $75,000 into a fund that the Sanitary District will use for the purchase of replacement disposal property as required under the Sanitary District ordinances. The county agrees that we will include specified pre-treatment and flow control facilities in the jail design and construction. We agree that wastewater service for the existing jail will be disconnected after the inmate population has transferred to the new jail, in effect using current jail wastewater capacity, applying that toward the wastewater service at the new jail. That's basically the only way we can get 10 pounds of flour out of a 5-pound sack. And finally, the county agrees to begin to pay monthly service charges for the additional capacity beginning on May 1, 2012, or upon completion of the jail, whichever happens first. So if we have the jail up and running by May 1st, we'll be paying monthly service charges at that time. The bottom line is we won't be paying for service we are not actually using until that day. Hopefully we will be up and running by that day. Finally, the most important point I think we made here is the county is paying its own way with the Sanitary District. This project is not being subsidized by the current ratepayers. We are bringing to the table the capital expenses, capital funds necessary to accommodate our additional wastewater. And we negotiate that in good faith with the district and its representatives, and we are content that that speaks for itself. The Sanitary District will expand its treatment facilities sufficient to treat an additional 24,850 gallons per day of wastewater is required to serve in the jail facility. The Sanitary District will petition LATCO to annex the property into the district. The sanitary district will develop and expand wastewater storage ponds and spray fields to accommodate the additional treated wastewater. The district will transfer upon completion of the jail facility to current capacity of 9,230 gallons per day from the existing jail to the new jail. And finally, the both parties' agreement is conditioned upon the ability of the sanitary district to comply with the plant's discharge permit requirements as established by the Regional Water Quality Control Board. The district is proposing to increase its rates in order to fund that construction. Here's estimates that
regardless of this agreement. The two things don't affect each other except for the fact that our ability to move forward does depend on that agreement. You have some alternatives. You could choose to deny the approval of the agreement. That is not recommended by staff as guaranteed access to wastewater services is a requisite for state funding of both the proposed facility and the proposed courthouse. Time constraints associated with the state funding process do not allow for the permitting and development of wastewater treatment facilities other than those maintained by the sanitary district. Your board could direct staff to renegotiate all or part of the attached agreement, seeking amendments to its various terms. Staff does not recommend this course as the agreement now before the board is the result of extensive and expensive negotiations between county and the sanitary district, as well as discussions among state and county agencies involved in the project. Your staff is not really likely that any further negotiation would be turned more favorable to the county. And let's see, I know there were a couple of questions raised by Supervisor Callaway. Would you like me just to respond to them here now, or should I pose them?
I gave you my
questions.
So.
There was one question about financing. We said the agenda item would be paid from jail construction funds. And the question is, which are these? AB 900, the county bond. The AB 900 money really only provides for the construction of the jail itself, along with the local match. So we would anticipate that these costs would be coming out of the Measure J funds. Money is fungible, it's a big pot of money, but if we didn't have the AB 900, it would still not be the allocation of the Measure J. Let's see, there was a question about, in the agreement, there was a question about service for the ALC and the 4,000 gallons, the acquisition of 4,000 gallons per day of wastewater service to the existing court facility. The notion is that we would retain what we have now for wastewater service for this end of the building, that we would be acquiring an additional 4,000 gallons a day, earmarked for the courts, allocated for the time being to this building. At the time the courts are ready to occupy, that 4,000 is taken from here and moved up to the court. So there's no net loss. We don't think there's loss of service. It's 4,000 added and then 4,000 moved up. And then finally, and I think I addressed this just a moment ago, the first paragraph covering on if the proposed rate increase would fail, the district not be able to meet its obligations, etc. And if the rate increase is not approved, the answer is that this project will not be able to move forward on that site, and we would probably be forced to move back to some sort of engineering or site solution for that, which takes some time frame way beyond what the state.
And that would be for the jail, not for the courts.
Well,
because the courts have the district is giving the courts the connection.
Well, the issue is, though, that the courts have predicated its project on our having the site with sewer service to it. Yes, it's true that the courts, we can transfer the property to the courts, and they might have the theoretical access for wastewater treatment, but there's no budget to build a line from the top of the hill down here. And the other part of this whole project is co-location of courts and county and adult detention facility. And so to divide them up would then be tantamount to the project.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Well, I just need to say, I'm getting clarification. 218 does not pass. I'm not real clear what that means. I mean, if the voters of the district say more than 50% say no, what does that say to the district? And does that then mean if it's no, and agreement, okay. So again, it goes back, and it's something that said when we were having our meetings, what are the options for the court, for the Justice Center, having our own sewer system of some kind, and
That it's a theoretical, it's certainly a theoretical possibility. It would sever the jail, it would sever the jail and the courthouse. I think those two projects would have to proceed not in a coordinated manner because of the timelines would change and the locations would probably change for the projects if the sewer is not approved. The county could, and again, we looked at about a 2-year time frame for us to get to the permitting process to develop our own solution, a county solution to the wastewater here at the Sanitary District. And the cost will probably exceed by a fairly significant margin the approximately $2 million, $2.2 million that we're looking at now to cooperate and collaborate with the Sanitary District. So it's time and money. Anything can be solved if you have time and money. We could do it.
what is the estimated cost if we had to do that?
I think we're probably looking at least to have our own, to build our own wastewater system, which is certain jail.
Not courts or the Justice Center,
Right.
the $400.
And then we would operate it, we would dedicate it to Santa Cruz or some other CCWD or
That's a fair question that I'm not able to give you an answer to. If we build it, they will come. I don't know that we would deed it over to anybody or whether we'd operate on our own. That's really a theoretical question, given what the impacts of the project would be. In the 2-year period, we would be waiting for permits. We had plenty of time to decide what we do with it after we built it.
Any questions for Mr. Martin?
I have some questions. Staying on the point we're on, how much money would we have invested if we not to recoup between now and the time the Prop 218 process is completed, such that if it failed and this document becomes null and void, how much money would we have invested that we would not be able to recoup?
Well, it kind of goes to how we would apply it. We would be able to go ahead, and I'm not sure about if there's a time limit for us on the 8,900 money. I don't believe there is in the same manner there is in the courts. We could go ahead with the jail. We would not lose money. We would lose time.
Court agreement, it had a not to exceed 200,000 as the court's contribution to
sanitary considerations. I don't see any of this in not to exceed. How open-ended is this?
This agreement, our payments to the sanitary district, this is the cap.
This is the not,
This is the capital, yeah, these are the
this is
capital.
a not to exceed number.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that, but that's what was negotiated. In other words, if for some reason it comes in a greater amount than this, it's not our obligation to take that.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Is that correct? It doesn't say that, that is the number.
That is the number.
That's what we're at 400, that is.
So we have a fixed amount.
Yes.
Okay, then the next question I have is, someplace in here, I think both the 1.637 and the 780 has to pay, we pay like in 15 days or something, right? So we're paying basically $2 million up front. Do we have control then, that $2 million, once we cut a check for $2 million and hand it to the sanitary district? In other words, do we have some follow-up so that we can see it is being spent wisely, that the project that the sanitary district is doing is within the cost? Because quite frankly, the sanitary, and we can give them $2 million up front. If the project, comes in over budget or something, and the sanitary district can't pay the difference. And they say, well, we just can't provide service because the state's going to take away our discharge permit. And we're up $2 million. So do we have some way of sort of monitoring that the money is being wisely spent, that the project's within budget, that, so we're not just giving them $2 million.
Well,
it's totally wrong.
The budget, the project cost to begin with is something that our wastewater consultant and our project manager are taking a look at. They're comfortable with the numbers. These weren't numbers that were pulled out of the hat, and the numbers themselves were reached as a result of negotiation, professional staff, and departments. So we have a level of confidence with the budgets that we can influence. They're not going to walk away making $700,000 on the LTO.
My worry is when you get $2 million, the sanitary district does not have the financial capacity if this thing comes in, $1 million over budget. And you can say that these numbers are not to exceed, but then if they lose their discharge permit and we're out $2 million and we don't, the sanitary district can't accept our sewer contribution. I just wonder, once you give them $2 million up front, 15 days, do we have, usually
We have
a construction project, you get draws or you get something so you can kind of monitor it as it's going, and we're just going, here's a check for $2 million.
Supervisor Fran, Mr. Sherman is here from the sanitary district board, maybe we can shed some light on the concern.
Okay.
Yes, by all means.
Basically, the rate increase was required by the state water board who's funding our upgrade project. Okay. I think once this project is done, the community is going to find that they've got some of the best rates in the state of California. After the project is done, we're doing everything we can to see that the rate increase goes into effect. The rate increase does not affect our discharge permits. It affects whether or not we get the loan. So, some fine lines in the details here, but if we don't pass the rate increase, I believe this agreement is null and void.
It's not that way, you can't, I'm not sure the point was made, the money we're paying is refundable.
Yeah, and if the rate increase doesn't go into it, I believe all your money is refunded by the state.
The plus or minus $2 million. That's refunded. But I understand that. That's not my greater concern. My greater concern is that we write a check. On most construction projects, you get if they go forward, you get a draw.
Right.
Right. We're doing $2 million up front, and then we have no more oversight of how the $2 million and the project is progressing. And I guess my concern is that the project comes in and it's 20% of the budget, and there's another $400,000, and we have not to exceed basically amounts in here. We budgeted, and you say, well, you know, it's so over budgeted, we can't, in the sanitary district, afford to pay the overages, so we're gonna stop construction on the expansion. I guess that's my question.
Okay, the plant upgrade is one project, and serving you guys is something that is above and beyond the plant upgrade. We are dealing with the plant upgrade. Okay, that's our problem. All the money that you guys would be paying us is for facilities that are specific to serving the court jail project. Okay, those amounts we feel are known. We don't feel that those amounts are going to change. Okay, so we feel the same way.
Those are told us that there's a very, very high comfort level there.
Yeah.
The only other thing I saw in here that struck me as a little bit open-ended, and I understand and that's appropriate that we pay for the cost of annexation. But lastly, we have something in here about other inspections.